Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nick Games, and today we're going to be going over the single target build for Demonology. This has been a very highly requested video for me to make, so today we're going to be going over it. Let's get into it. Alright, so basically, if you've never played Demonology before, we're just going to go over the talents really quickly and basically explain how everything works. And then we'll get into the rotation, stat priority, and what I think the best in slot the trinkets will be coming up in the Dragonflight expansion. Alright, so basically, what we're going to be looking at here is you're going to start off with your college Dreadstalkers. These do quite a bit of damage. They are amped from your Dread Calling. You want to use these basically on cooldown, and then you want to hold them for a little bit if you have your Tyrant coming up. And with this build, you'll be running around like a 1-minute Tyrant setup, since we're using a Grand Warlock's design. And yeah, Dreadstalkers are very useful, and you need to make sure that you're timing them extremely correctly, or you can lose a lot of value. Dreadlash is basically an enhancement. Your Dreadstalkers bites deal 10% more damage and also cleave, but this is a piercing target, so basically you are forced to take this. So regardless, it's an okay talent. It just increases your Dread bite damage by 10%. Demon Bolt, you're going to need this for cycling your shards in between. Hand of Godan. You use this, the Hand of Godan, then you use it again, the Hand of Godan. Demonic Knowledge is when you Hand of Godan, you have a 15% chance to generate a charge of Demonic Core, basically making your Demon Bolt insta-cast, which is very useful for this build. Anilian Training, your Felguard deals 20% more damage and takes 10% less damage, just the passive damage increase to your Felguard. From the shadows, Dreadbite causes the target to take 20% additional Shadow Flame damage from you for the next 12 seconds. Basically a 20% damage amp during your CD usage. Very huge. Definitely a really good talent to take. Bile Scourge Bombers, like even for AoE, these you would most likely never take these ever. Just doesn't do enough damage. Not really good enough for 2 soul shards either. Especially when it's lined up against Demonic Strength. Demonic Strength does a ton of damage on single target and does massive damage on AoE, so this talent is definitely a +1 in my book. The Carnivorous Stalkers, your Dreadstalkers attacks have a 10% chance to trigger an additional Dread Bite. This basically makes it to where the duration of your From the Shadows will last longer. And also just adds more damage to your Call Dreadstalkers talent. Felon Steel, Fellstorm, and Dreadbite do 10% additional damage, just a flat damage amp to your Fellstorm and your Dreadbites from your dogs. Grimoire Felguard, will be using this for pure ST, because for one talent, it's about 2-3% of your overall damage on a single target, so it's definitely worth taking. Fellsunder, basically whenever you use your Fellstorm, it will increase the damage the target takes from you and your pets by 1% for 8 seconds, up to 5%. So each tick of Fellstorm will give the 1% each tick, up to 5. Demonic Meteor. This is pretty good talent overall, in my opinion. Basically, Hand of Godan deals 5% additional damage, and has a 5% chance per soul shard spent of refunding a soul shard. So if you have all 3, it has a 15% chance to refund a soul shard. If you use it on 1 shard, it has like a 5% chance to refund a soul shard. Inner Demons. You passively summon a wild imp to fight for you every 12 seconds. While in combat, you also have a 10% chance to summon an additional demon to fight for you for 15 seconds. On pure single target, this is not too bad, because Wild Imps is basically one of your top damage abilities overall in a pure single target situation. So having more imps, more damage amps, and more extensions from Tyrant with multiple imps out is absolutely insane, and this is a really good talent to take. Dread Calling. So basically, when you have your cycles and you're weaving in between your dog spawns and your Hand of Godans, you're basically averaging about 20 to 40% damage increase to your Call of Dreadstalkers, which overall this is a pretty big bonus, and it's definitely worth taking. The Imp Gang Boss. This went through an iteration of changes. It got nerfed, it got buffed. Recently it was buffed. Basically, when you summon a wild imp, it has a 30% chance to summon an imp gang boss. The imp gang boss basically deals 1.5 times more damage than a normal imp, but when it dies, it will summon a wild imp. Now, currently, this only works when imploded, but if they did change it to where if the wild imp would actually spawn even if it just lost all of its charge, that'd be pretty cool, but currently it does not work that way. Nether Portal. This build reacts and plays around Nether Portal. Basically, you want to get in as many soul shard spenders as you possibly can during this duration, and then spawn your tyrant to extend all of the demons that were spawned out of here. This build is fun. It just feels really weird with trinket usage. Not quite sure what trinkets are going to be best. Right now I'm just running high haste, so overall I think some trinkets with Nether Portal could be crazy. You could see some crazy bursts and some crazy sustain. But yeah, Nether Portal, you spend soul shards, you get extra demons. Rizul's Volition. When Nether Portal summons a demon, it has a 3 out of 10 chance to summon an additional demon. Just adding more demons, some more damage, and more extensions from your tyrant. And Gul'dan's Ambition. When your Nether Portal ends, you summon a Pit Lord that gains power based on how many demons you summoned. Up to 20 demons while Nether Portal was active, and the Pit Lord lasts for 10 seconds. Pit Lord does quite a bit of damage. It's not too bad. I wish this would happen when you spawn Nether Portal, so you could actually extend the Pit Lord, which would be pretty cool. But sadly, that's not how it works. Summon Demonic Tyrant. This is the bread and butter of demonology itself. Every minute or so with Grand Warlock's design, you'll be spawning a Tyrant, lining it up with your Dread Stalkers as much as you can, and then right after following it up with Demonic Strength, because it's buffing all your pet's damage by 15%. So your Felguard will be doing 15% more damage with Demonic Strength, and it's hitting for about 40 to 45k attack, which is pretty good. And then we're also going to be running Soulbound Tyrant, which is going to give you 5 soul shards whenever you activate your Tyrant. Really good for follow-up Hand of Gul'dan usages to just get some imps going. And then, as we've already seen, we're going to be running Grand Warlock's design. Every soul shard you spin reduces the cooldown of Summon Demonic Tyrant by 0.6 seconds. So if you use a whole set of 5 shards, it's 3 seconds per cycle. And the last 2 talents that I haven't gone over yet, or sorry, last 3, is Demonic Calling. Shadow Bolt and Demon Bolt have 10% chance to make your next call. Dreadstalkers cost 2 for soul shards and have no cast time. This is worth 1 point. It's not worth 2 points. The other point is better spent elsewhere, which is what I'm about to get to in a second. Basically, you have a 1 out of 10 chance when you use Demon Bolt and Shadow Bolt to make your Dreadstalkers insta-cast and cost no shards, which is pretty useful, and it's also good for on-the-run movement. Let's say you have a mechanic in this proc, so you can use your Dreadstalkers while moving. And overall, I think 1 point in this is very useful. Now we're going to be going over Rip Through the Portal. Call of Dreadstalkers has a 100% chance to summon an additional. So now your Call of Dreadstalkers, instead of spawning 2 Dreadstalkers, will always spawn 3. Antorian Armament. Your Felguard deals 20% additional damage, and Soul Strike now deals 25% of its damage to nearby enemies. This overall is pretty good. Your Felguard is just passively doing 20% additional damage. In a pure single target scenario, the bottom half of this is irrelevant, but the top half is pretty useful overall for ST. Now, the last talent that we'll go over is called the Expendables. When your wild imps expire or die, aka if you implode them, if they fall off by themselves, or die from any type of damage, your other demons that you currently have out are inspired and gain 1% additional damage, stacking up to 10 times. This is really good for sustain, like overall. The Expendables definitely adds to the damage amp of demonology in a nutshell, and overall this build is really good. Out of all 3 specs that I've played, the ST from this is definitely the top. Demo seems to be in a really good spot, and yeah, the last few things we're gonna go over is the damage amps to this build. So with Demonology, your pet is basically everything, right? So Demonic Inspiration is definitely a must. Wrathful Minion is definitely a must. Grimoire of Synergy is definitely a must. Soul Conduit is definitely a must, as you will be spending a ton of soul shards in this build. These two options at the bottom here, Inquisitor's Gaze and Summon Soulkeeper, they are optional. If you want just a little more damage coming out of Inquisitor's Gauge, you can definitely take this, but these are not mandatory. You can take the point out of this and you can throw it into Soulburn. Soulburn is really good utility. Drain Life can give you a shield. Demonic Gateway can be cast instantly. Demonic Circle Teleport gives you a movement speed buff when you take it. Hellstones increase your max health by 20%, and the healing by 30%. So, I mean, Soulburn is definitely useful. Alright, now that we have gotten through the build, let's go to the rotation, and then after that I'll go through the stat priority and trinkets I'm using, and then that'll be it. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so the rotation with Nether Portal is a little more difficult to set up than some builds that you can play on ST, but once you get used to the flow of things and the lineups and when to use your pets, this build becomes really fun and fluent. It took me a little bit to figure it out, but after I did, it's kind of like natural, you know, like you just kind of get used to it. And yeah, basically I'm gonna do one Nether Portal. I'm gonna cycle through 3 Tyrants and then do one more Nether Portal, and then we'll look at the damage breakdown. And yeah. All right. So here's the rotation, and I'll try to speak it out as much as I can. Sorry if I miss a couple of spells, but I'm more focused on the rotation sometimes, so sometimes I get a little zoned out. So if we are on a single target boss and you are pulling and there's a pull timer, around 4 seconds you're going to want to hard cast your Demon Bolt. After this you're going to do some Nether Portal, you're going to do Grimoire of your Felguard, your Dread Lashers. We want to build up some shards here. We're going to weave in Demonic Core procs here. Then we're going to Demonic Tyrant into Demonic Strength. We're going to Hand of Gul'dan into 1 Shadow Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan again. Have some Shadow Bolts here and there. We're going to summon Dreadstalkers. Hand of Gul'dan. Shadow Bolt. Shadow Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan. Demon Bolt weaving. We're going to weave in our Demon Bolts here. Hand of Gul'dan. Shadow Bolt into Demon Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan. Demon Bolt. Demon Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan. We're going to summon our Dread Lashers. So, since you're basically playing around Tyrant's CD is reduced by using your Soul Shards. So what that means is, you can start preparing for your ramp around 20 seconds of your Tyrant, as long as you have enough pace. I'd say about 15%. So as you can see, my Dreadstalkers are coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and throw those now. I'm going to Demon Bolt as much as I can. I'm going to get as many imps out as I can here. Okay, after this cast, I'm going to summon Demonic Tyrant. And then Demonic Strength from my Felguard there. We're going to keep building up stacks, get our imps out. Dreadstalkers are coming up, so we're going to call those. 1 Shadow Bolt into Gul'dan. Shadow Bolt some more times here. Now we're going to weave our Demon Bolts in between our Gul'dans here. Hand of Gul'dan, Demon Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan. Okay, our Dreadstalkers are coming up, so we're going to send them. Now our Tyrant is coming up here. We will be using Grimoire Felguard for this one. Sometimes you can save it depending on the fight, but we're going to play it like it's like an overall like long period fight. So as you can see, our Tyrant's about to be off cooldown here. We're going to weave in all of our abilities. I'm going to call Dreadstalkers, Hand of Gul'dan. Hand of Gul'dan one more time. Gonna Hand of Gul'dan one more time in between. We're gonna call our Tyrant out into a Demonic Strength. Have our pets, you know, do some spins, get some damage amps going off here. Okay, now we're gonna build up Shadow Bolts again. Our Dreadstalkers are coming up cooldown here soon, so we want to make sure we have 2 shards. Dreadstalkers, Shadow Bolts, Shadow Bolts. We should be getting some Demonic Core stacks here. Yep. Got some Demonic Core stacks. Gonna weave in our Demon Bolts and Hand of Gul'dans. Okay, so Nether Portal is coming up here soon. Now we're gonna hold it and we're gonna wait till about 10 seconds on Tyrant, and then we'll start actually boosting it here. So we're just going to keep weaving. This is all you do. You're basically just weaving all of your abilities in between. Okay, our Tyrant is up soon. I'm going to Nether Portal now. Hand of Gul'dan. Into more Hand of Gul'dans. Call Dreadstalkers. Hand of Gul'dan again. Hand of Gul'dan again. Okay, after this, we will be summoning our Tyrant into Demonic Strength. Hand of Gul'dan. Hand of Gul'dan. Shadow Bolt. Shadow Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan into a Demon Bolt. We call our Dreadstalkers here. And yeah, that's basically the build. The single target is amazing in this build. I don't have any buffs or anything, and I'm sustaining 47k on the target dummy that's not taking increased damage. So yeah, based off the Nether Portal timings, my damage was about 48k, and yeah, this build, Demonology in general, feels really great, and I'm excited to play it in Dragonflight. So here's a breakdown of the pull that I just did on the training dummy. As you can see, Fell Firebolt from your imps is definitely the top damage. Closely followed by your Dreadstalker melees, and closely followed by your Fellstorm, and closely followed by Dreadbite. Overall, this equates to about 50 to 53% of your overall damage, and these are all huge value in Demonology, and it's kind of nice seeing, you know, like all your pets kind of have like equalized numbers. And then we're gonna come down to the melees. This is your Felguard. Felguard is actually doing a lot of damage, and it's kind of just like free damage, so you don't really have to worry about it. A Legion Strike is also from your Felguard. It's this button right here. That's also doing quite a bit of damage. This is your Pit Lord, which is spawning after your Nether Portal expires and gains damage based off your demons. So this seems to be doing pretty good amount of damage as well. Demon Bolt doing about 5%. Hand of Gul'dan doing about 4.7. Demon Fire from your Tyrant doing 4%. Now, just to clarify, Tyrant's not really using this build to do a lot of damage. It's not like Shadowlands. It's more so to extend all your pets and make them do more damage. And honestly, Tyrant doing 4% is not bad for the value that it's actually bringing overall to the spec. Shadow Bolt, little wimpy, but you know, Shadow Bolt is Shadow Bolt. This is your raw melee from your Felguard. Doing decent. That's not too bad. This is from the Grimoire here. And we got Toxic Bile from Nether Portal. It's basically the Bile Scourge bomber mob that it spawns. It's doing about 2%. Legion Strike is from your Felguard here, the Grimoire Felguard. Hellstorm, this is the lower version of Hellstorm. This is the small version. The big version is Demonic Strength. So it's doing about 0.7%. Melee from your Darkhound. This is a spawn from the Nether Portal. Demon Fangs is spawn from your Nether Portal. Most of these abilities right here, I'm not going to go over all of them, but these are basically all from your Nether Portal. Nether Portal's value is crazy. Like, if you add up all this, I'm going to say Nether Portal's value is around 12-13% of your overall damage, which is why Nether Portal is so good. But, yep, that's the end of the breakdown. So this is the gear I'm running. As you can see, I'm stacking haste pretty heavily. This build feels really slow, rampy. So the more haste you have at the earlier stages of Dragonflight, in my opinion, are definitely worth it. So if you want this build to feel pretty good, I would say go for at least 25% haste, and then after that go full on mastery. So haste, mastery, definitely your two best stats here. Crit is not bad, but it's not something you'd want to stack, and versatility is not bad, but it's not something you want to stack either. So also I'm running the Crimson Aspirant's Badge of Ferocity. I don't think this trinket will be BIS overall, but early on in the tier you're definitely want to get one of these. It's just a simple lineup for your Tyrant with the Grand Warlock's design and Demonic Strength. It also amps up all of your demons while they're out, and overall I enjoy using it. It feels good, and it makes your 1 minutes feel a little bit more impactful. I'm also running Crimson Gladiator's Insignia of Alacrity. Two reasons why I'm running this. One, haste. I like my haste values to be high, and the more haste you have with this build, it feels much better. You can get more Hand Dance, like more demons from your Nether Portal, and overall I think is a really good trinket just for haste. And then the unequipped, you can have good and bad lineups. You could get the primary stat at a bad time, or you can get it with all of your demons out with Nether Portal, and it feels great, right? But overall, haste and mastery, definitely your two best stats. And for trinkets, these two are not bad, but I would also say that Iridius Fragment is not too bad either. But a huge warning: this trinket is not in the first season of Dragonflight, so this eye level would not be obtainable until the rotation changes into Neltharius, which we have no idea, but hopefully it does, and when it does, this trinket will definitely be best with Nether Portal. Horn of Valor is also really good. You would basically use it with Nether Portal and hold it to your next Nether Portal. It's not too bad. It's really good because it basically lasts for your whole duration of Nether Portal building and your Demonic Tyrant extensions. So overall, it is a pretty good trinket as well. Other than that, though, I don't think any of the trinkets are that good. Furious Rage Feather is good for ST, but this build is more about having things rely around your cooldowns, and so that's why I think Iridius Fragment, Horn of Valor, and the badge are probably really good picks here. And then that's it for today, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, be sure to drop them down below. If you guys enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. I love you all, and I will be back with another video here shortly in a day or so. But as always, hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Peace.